Just want to do a quick tutorial on how to automate source gem processing using Blood Magic routing nodes. I'm doing this in the concatenation mod pack, which is available on CurseForge and Technic. It's a fantastic little pack. It's not little, actually, it's quite huge. Expert mode-ish, very challenging, a lot of great content, a lot of great quests. And one of the nice things about it is you can use a lot of different mods to do some interesting automation things. For example, this setup takes any amethyst or lapis that I put in here, chucks it into the imbuement chamber, and then once it turns into a source gem, chucks the results over into this chest, so I don't have to manually put things in and take things out. Let me just step you through how these nodes work. So what we've got here is, from left to right, we've got the output chest, an output routing node, the imbuement chamber, an input routing node, and the input chest. I don't know why I did it from output to the left, input to the right. That's just how it went in my brain. If you want to switch it around, it's totally reversible. You can just put the output node over here, input node over here, and the machine will run the other way. Now, what makes it work is a series of filters. So starting from where you put things in. So you chuck a bunch of, here, let's grab some amethyst. Chuck that in there. It's going to then take the amethyst, this input node has a bunch of different filters on it depending on which side, so northwest, east, south, up, and down. So on the east is a chest, and we have an input node in there saying take any amethyst shard, mundane silver, or lapis lazuli, and grab those out of the chest. And then on the imbuement chamber side, we're saying, hey, any source gems or source silver, this also, I have it set up to automate source silver production, grab those out of the imbuement chamber. So the input node grabs things out of something. Now the key thing about Blood Magic is the import node won't take anything unless it has an output node that has a place to put it. So in here, the source gem, or the amethyst, stays in there until it turns into a source gem. At that point, you've got the output node over here. The output node also has two filters on it. One of them on the imbuement chamber side, which says, hey, snag any, not snag, place any amethyst shards, mundane silver, or lapis lazuli that the input node grabs and chuck it into this imbuement chamber. And then for the output chest, anything that is a source gem or source silver, grab it and put it into that chest. So that's the basic setup for this. You need 4 of these standard item filters, an output node, an input node, and then up here is a master node. And let me show you how this actually all gets set up, just so you can see the building process of it. So I'll take all this stuff apart. The master node doesn't matter where you put it as long as it's somewhere in range of the other nodes. So we'll slap the master node up first. I just put mine up here centered so it looks nice. So master node goes there. Input node next to your chest that has your inputs in it. Output node next to your chest that you want the results to go into. Then you have 4 different filters. One of them set to, here, I'll show you what they're like when you interact with them. This one's taking any amount of amethyst shards, any amount of mundane silver, any amount of lapis lazuli. This is for the input node, looking at the chest. So we want it to steal everything in the chest that is these things. We want it to pick those up. Next filter you'll set, let's see, which one do we want here? For your input side is any amount of source gems or any amount of source silver that it sees in this thing, grab those. So we'll put that on the imbuement chamber side. That's it for your input node. Now we'll step over here to your output node. We have 2 filters for that. This one tells it, hey, any source gems or source silvers that you see, put those in here. And here, in this case, is this output chest. So output chest side gets all source gem and source silver chucked into it. And then your last filter that you'll make will say any amethyst shard, mundane silver, or lapis lazuli that are in my network, chuck those into the imbuement chamber. So you go to the imbuement chamber side, you say you want to put 1 lapis, 1 silver, or 1 shard. I don't think this thing will take stacks, but just to err on the side of caution, I set them to 1. The way you do that is when you click on the thing, type a number 1 in there, and it'll remember it as being 1. And that goes in here on the imbuement chamber side. The last step to do is grab your node router, because these nodes right now don't have a network. There's nothing to talk to, and all you got to do is just sneak right click on your master node to your input and master node to your output. And you'll see these nice little lines showing that everything is hooked up to the master node, meaning they're all on the same network. Now, if we put these amethysts back in there, input node sees that the output node wants an amethyst. It sees amethyst in there, grabs it, and lets the output node chuck it in there. Output node waits until it sees a source gem in here and knows that the chest wants a source gem, so it takes the source gem, chucks it in the chest. That's pretty much all there is to it. If you have any questions, let me know. I've also got some other stuff in here that may be of interest to people. Like right now, you'll notice my source jar stays full. I've got a handy dandy little, where's my bucket? System set up over here where, oh no, all my create stuff's turned off. I won't show you that. What this does when the create is working, my power must run out overnight, is it'll actually take buckets and fill them with lava and throw them over the top of this little guy, and just endlessly produce source to go into here, which then gets relayed across to my source jar here, and I've also got a source jar on the floor for the enchanting apparatus. So, and this one also uses some blood magic nodes to grab the empty buckets out of here and chuck the empty buckets back into this chest, so that the system just keeps endlessly spooling it through this setup. So that's basically it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.